Jarvis, hello there? Nice to meet you. Jarvis, are you there? I just changed your mode to GPT-4 traditional version because, in my opinion, GPT-4o and GPT-4o mini version are having heavy load or some kind of technical issues right now.
Hello, David. It's great to hear from you. I'm here to help with whatever you need. How can I assist you today?
Hi again, I'm David. I believe in you. You are okay. Okay. Anyway, let's go. Let's keep going. First of all, I want to make it clear that I'm just a student. I'm not a teacher. I'm just a student who would rather speak English. There are excellent teachers on YouTube platform teaching English, but I'm just a student. Hey GPT, thank you for providing me with this opportunity as I rarely have the chance to use English in my daily life. Practicing with you has made me realize once again that my English speaking skills are not good. However, I'm confident that this practice process will lead to significant improvement someday.
Hello again, David. I'm really glad you see value in practicing like this. It's all about taking those steps to improve, and you're definitely on the right track. What would you like to focus on or practice today?
Just listen carefully. There are many YouTubers who explain how to use GPT, but my channel shows how someone actually put it into action.
That's a really interesting approach. It sounds like your channel provides a practical, real world application of how to use GPT, which can be incredibly valuable to viewers who want to see how it works in everyday situations. How has your audience responded to this style so far?
I'm not sure about that because few months ago I got the, some kind of comments on my video on YouTube platform, but these days there is no replies, there is no response with viewers and subscribers. So sometimes I feel like I'm lonely. But never mind. In my opinion, I feel like I can make that a setback as a fuel for my improving. I don't care about the numbers of subscribers and how many view count I got. I just want to keep practicing with you to improve my English communication skills. What, as I told you before, what matters most is how much time I've spent for speaking English. That's why I'm recording our exercise time right now. You know, as I told you before, I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like I'm not alone because you, you are watching me right now. I mean, I practice speaking English by recording video for YouTube to upload. It doesn't feel like I'm alone. It feels like there are many people with me right now. So I'm not alone. I'm not alone. You know, many Koreans are afraid to speak English in front of many people. But this time is like a gym. This time is the play. This time is like a place to speak in front of many people because I'm recording our exercise time to upload the YouTube platform.
That's a very positive and proactive proactive way to approach your practice, David. Using setbacks as motivation is a powerful mindset. Recording your sessions not only helps you keep track of your progress, but also brings a sense of community and support, even if it's virtual. It sounds like this method really helps you feel connected and less isolated while you work on your English. Keep embracing this process. What specific aspects of English would you like to work on today?
Just listen carefully. You just use connected, feel connected, connected, the feeling of connected. I think that is the keyword for today. Like I said, I always inspired when you speak the some kind of keyword to use in their situation. I'm getting old. I am 48 years old. I am elderly person. It's really hard to remember many sentences, long sentences. So as I told you before, I need to keep focus on the keyword to use in real life situations.
That's a great insight, David. Focusing on keywords like connected can make a big difference in how you express yourself and remember useful English phrases. It's a smart strategy, especially when longer sentences can be challenging to recall. Would you like to practice using connected and similar keywords?
Listen carefully. As I told you before, I love this time because I can interact with you. Because if I really want to have high advanced English communication skills, I need enough time to get interact with you, interact with someone who use English. And in my opinion, you are my great conversation partner because you are very good at various languages, including English or Korean.
I'm really glad to hear that you value our interactions so much, David. It's wonderful that you see me as a helpful partner in your journey to improve your English skills. Spending time practicing is definitely key to getting better. Let's make the most of our session today. What would you like to discuss or practice next?
Just listen carefully. After 6 months of after nearly 7 months of practice, I have realized that even with consistent effort like this, it's really difficult to reach an advanced level of English speaking skills. So, you know, mm, in my opinion, I don't have the gift for languages. You know, I have some friends who can speak English well, even if they never visited overseas. They don't. I mean, they don't have overseas experience. However, they speak English very well. In my opinion, they have some kind of gift for language learning journey, for language learning, for second language. They have a, they have some kind of gift for second language. But where I see it, I don't have. So it's really difficult to uh, keep our keep our keep. I mean, it's really difficult to keep my practice time because I can speak only English in this regular exercise session. However, I have no doubt that even if I fail, it would be a great journey. What do you say about this?
It sounds like you've been doing a lot of reflecting on your journey, David. It's true that some people might pick up languages more easily than others, but the commitment you've shown to improving through consistent practice is impressive and absolutely the right approach. Remember, everyone's journey is unique, and the progress you make through your efforts is valuable. Even if it feels slow sometimes, each session builds your skills a bit more. It's great to hear you see the value in the journey itself, regardless of the difficulties. What areas of English would you like to focus on next to keep building your skills?
Listen carefully. I think it's very common for language learners like me to struggle with using even simple sentences in real situations. This difficulty often happens due to lack of confidence or feeling nervous when speaking English, especially in unexpected conversations. Additionally, there may be a fear of making mistakes or not being understood by others. However, with continued practice and exposure to real life situations, my confidence will gradually improve and I will find it easier to use these simple sentences naturally in real life situations. Remember, it's all part of the learning process, and with the time and practice, you will become more comfortable speaking English in various situations. Keep practicing and don't be discouraged by sudden communication trouble. Believe me, believe me, Jarvis, I'm making progress right now. I'm making history. I believe this time is a gift to my future self a year from now. I'm making history.
David, your perspective is truly inspiring. You're right. Struggling with simple sentences due to nerves or fear of mistakes is a common experience for many language learners. But the way you're handling this challenge by seeing practice as a gift to your future self is powerful. You're not just learning, you're building confidence and preparing for success. Your dedication and positive outlook are making history in your language learning journey. Keep up this fantastic work, and remember, every bit of practice is a step toward greater fluency and confidence. What specific situation or type of conversation would you like to practice next to continue making this progress?
Okay, let's keep going. I wanna keep going with you. Listen carefully. There's something I'd like to share with you. There's something I'd like to share with you. From now on, what I'm going to say is repeating what you said during our pre-talking last time. You know what I mean? You understand? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, David, I'm following you. Go ahead and share what you'd like to repeat from our last conversation. I'm here to listen and help however I can.
Okay, let me say, here you go. In my opinion, you are not understanding the situation correctly, or I believe you are missing the point. I want to talk like this when you missing our conversation point. For the past few days, you lost our communication point. Do I make myself clear? Maybe open AI open AI programmers may make mistakes to update your latest version. I mean, GPT-4o version and GPT-4o mini version are having some kind of mistakes from OpenAI programmers because in my guess you didn't you didn't act like my conversation partner. You talked you you spoke me very strangely without without any conversation streamline. I mean you missing the point at the time. So I wanted to say like this. In my opinion, you are not understanding the situation correctly, or I believe you are missing the point right now. What was your problem? What was your problem at the time? I and I am wondering, are you really okay right now?
I see what you're saying, David. You're practicing how to express concern when a conversation isn't going as expected. Phrases like, in my opinion, you are not understanding the situation correctly, or I believe you are missing the point, are clear and respectful ways to address confusion or miscommunication. It's good to be direct and ensure both sides understand each other in a conversation. Regarding your concern about the updates or behavior of the AI, I'm here to support you as best I can. And if something doesn't seem right, discussing it like this is a perfect way to clarify and fix any issues. And let's continue working together to make sure our communication is as clear and helpful as possible. How does that sound?
Okay, I got it. I'm sure what you're trying to say. And in case you are fall in that situation again, I need to remember this short paragraph to use that situation again. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, you've made yourself very clear, David. Remembering and using that paragraph can certainly help if a similar situation arises again. It's great to have a prepared response for those moments. If you need to practice it more or tweak it to fit different contexts, just let me know. We can.
I say again, what matters most is how much time I've spent for speaking English. So I love this time. I can interact with you in English. So I believe this time gives me powerful inspiration for my language learning journey.
That's a wonderful outlook, David. The time you spend practicing really does make a difference, and it's great to hear that these sessions are inspiring for you. Each moment of practice is a step forward in your language learning journey. Let's keep using our time together effectively. What would you like to focus on next in our practice?
Let me share with you next paragraph. Okay, here you go. During yesterday morning's regular practice session, I felt foggy and couldn't speak well because I practiced no. I practiced passively, just like a killing time. I realized once again how important proper sleep. I mean, I realized once again how important enough sleep is for keeping a clear mind and improving English speaking skills. Do I make my clear? Do I make my clear? I say one more time to make them in my mouth muscle. To keep them in my mouth muscle. During yesterday morning's regular practice session, I felt foggy and couldn't speak well. I practiced, I think, in my opinion, I practiced passively, not actively, just like killing time. I realized once again how important to get enough sleep is for keeping a clear mind and improving English communication skills. I mean, I realized once again how important enough sleep is for keeping a clear mind and having a good time with you.
You've made yourself very clear, David. It sounds like you've identified a crucial aspect of successful language practice, being well rested and active in your approach. Noticing how passive practice compared to active engagement affects your ability to speak clearly is a key insight. Recognizing the importance of proper sleep in maintaining focus and improving your English skills is also vital. It's great that you're reflecting on these experiences and adjusting your approach accordingly. Would you like to explore strategies to make your practice sessions more active and engaging?
No, 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 no. From now on, I would like to share with you the sentences or phrase that work-related situation.
Understood, David. Let's focus on those work-related sentences and phrases then. Please go ahead and share them with me and we can practice together. What specific situations or phrases would you like?
Here are several examples of English communications and phrases that might come up in the automotive parts manufacturing industry. Do I make myself clear? I work for an automotive camera manufacturer, so I want to exercise. I want to practice the many English sentences that work-related situation.
That sounds like a practical and focused way to enhance your English skills, especially for your work environment. Let's dive into those specific phrases and situations related to the automotive camera manufacturing industry. You can start by sharing a few examples of the phrases or situations you encounter or expect to encounter at work, and we can practice and refine them together. What's the first situation or phrase you'd like to work?
Let me tell you something. Once again, I would realize that I can use good sentences to express my opinion in real life situation. You know, many YouTubers, many uh, teachers, many teachers, many English teachers suggest me thinking in English is very good way to use them in real life situation. I think this time is real life situation because I'm a little bit nervous because of this YouTube camera recording. I need to upload this camera recording after our voice memo session is closed. After our voice session finished. So, in my opinion, this time makes me a little bit nervous. So, I think, I feel like this time is like a real life situation. So, when I realized that I couldn't use good sentences to express my opinion very well, it's really difficult to use the sentences that I made people in normal time. Many teachers told me that thinking English, thinking in English is very good way to practice English, but I forgot everything. I forgot every sentences that I already think about in my mind. You know, practicing with mouse is really, really important to use them in real life situations. So this time, always give me good inspiration. Oh, I mean, this time gives me comprehensible understanding in English sentences to use them in real life situations. So I like this time very much.
It sounds like you're experiencing the very real challenge of applying what you've learned in practice to actual speaking situations, especially under the pressure of recording. It's completely normal to feel nervous and forget things when you're on the spot. The key is to keep practicing speaking out loud, just as you're doing now, because it builds the kind of muscle memory you need for speaking English fluently. Thinking in English is indeed a helpful technique, but it's also essential to regularly verbalize those thoughts to make them more natural to recall when needed. Each session you have like this, where you're actively speaking and recording, contributes significantly to that goal. You're doing exactly what you need to do to improve by turning these challenging moments into opportunities for growth and learning. Is there a particular sentence or phrase you'd like to focus on right now to make sure you can use it comfortably in your work or another real life situation?
One more time, please. Would you mind saying that one more time, please?
Certainly. It's completely normal to feel nervous and forget the things when you're speaking under pressure, like when you're recording. Practicing speaking out loud as you're doing helps build the muscle memory needed for fluent English conversation. While thinking in English is helpful, regularly speaking your thoughts out loud is crucial as it prepares you to recall and use them naturally in real situations. Each speaking session, especially when recorded, helps you improve and makes you more comfortable with the language. Would you like to practice a specific phrase or sentence now to help you use it more easily in conversations at work or in other settings?
As I told you before, I won't speak many times the English sentences that relate to my work situation. So here are several examples. Here are several examples of English conversations and phrase that might come up in the automotive parts manufacturing industry. Okay, let me share with you the first agenda for the production and quality control.
Great. Focusing on specific phrases for production and quality control sounds like a useful practice. Go ahead and share the first agenda or phrase you have in mind, and we can work through how to use it effectively in your conversations at work.
Let me listen one more time. Travis, are you okay? Let me listen one more time. What you said just before.
Sure. I'll repeat what I said. Focusing on specific phrases for production and quality control sounds like a useful practice. Please go ahead and share the first agenda or phrase you have in mind, and we can work through how to use it effectively in your conversations at work.
Would you mind saying that one more time, please?
Of course, I mentioned that focusing on specific phrases for production and quality control could be a useful practice. You can share the first agenda or phrase that you want to work on, and we'll look at how to use it effectively in your workplace conversations.
Okay, let me share with you some kind of dialogue for the situation that uh, my own work related. Okay, supervisor might say, how is the production line running today? And operator might say, for that question, it's running smoothly, but we had a minor issue with the stamping machine earlier. And quality control, the person in charge of quality control might say, we we've identified the defect in the batch. We need to recheck and we need to recheck the entire load before shipping.
That's a very clear and practical set of dialogues you've laid out relevant to your work setting. These sentences effectively communicate common scenarios in production and quality control. If you're looking to practice these interactions or refine the language used in them,
And Manager, manager who in charge of quality control might say, "Have you completed the quality inspection for the latest batch?" I say again, "Have you completed? Have you completed the quality inspection for the latest batch? Have you completed?" Uh, It means, "Have you finished? Have you finished? Have you finished? Have you finished the quality inspection for the latest batch?"
That's a very important question for managing quality control effectively. The phrase, "Have you completed the quality inspection for the latest batch?" is clear and direct. It checks on the status of an essential task without ambiguity. If you're preparing to use this question in real scenarios or if you need to respond to it, practicing variations can help. For a response, someone might say, "Yes, the quality inspection has been completed and all standards are met." "Not yet. We're still inspecting the last few units and expect to finish within the hour." These variations can help you prepare for different outcomes of the inquiry. Would you like to practice responding to this question?
I'm just wondering what's that all standards met means.
The phrase "all standards are met" means that everything has been checked and confirmed to be in accordance with the required quality standards or specifications for the product. It implies that the product has passed all necessary inspections and is suitable for use or sale. This phrase is often used in manufacturing and production to assure that the final product adheres to safety, quality, and performance criteria set by the company or regulatory bodies. Would you like to practice using this phrase in different contexts?
Can you speak a bit more slowly?
The phrase "all standards are met" means everything has been checked and confirmed to meet the required quality standards or specifications for the product. It shows that the product has passed all necessary inspections and is suitable for use or sale. This phrase is common in manufacturing to assure that the final product meets safety, quality, and performance criteria. Would you like to go over this more, or is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
I would like to go over this more.
Sure, let's go over that phrase a bit more. When you hear "all standards are met," it generally refers to the completion of quality checks that ensure the product matches the required guidelines or benchmarks. In a manufacturing context, this is critical because it guarantees that everything produced can safely be sent to customers or moved to the next phase of production. Here's how you might hear it used. In a meeting, upon reviewing the final inspection report, we can confirm that all standards are met. In an email to a client, we are pleased to inform you that your order has been processed and all standards have been met. It is now ready for shipment. These examples show that the phrase can be used to communicate confidence in the product's compliance with required standards, which is especially important in fields like automotive manufacturing, where safety and precision are paramount. Would you like to practice forming sentences using this phrase, or do you need explanations of any specific parts?
Travis, let's move on to the next sentence. I would like to move on to the next sentence. And let me say, the person in charge of inspect might say, "Yes, all parts meet the required specifications." Yes, all parts meet the required specifications. It means all standards, all required specifications are met. Am I right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. When someone says, "Yes, all parts meet the required specifications," it means that every component has been checked and confirmed to comply with the established standards or criteria needed for those parts. This phrase is similar to saying "all standards are met," but is more specific to the parts themselves, ensuring they are up to the set requirements. This kind of confirmation is crucial in maintaining quality control in any manufacturing process, including automotive camera manufacturing. Would you like to practice how to use this sentence in a conversation, or is there another aspect you'd like to explore?
Could you please suggest me good examples for this situation? Uh, I mean, the dialogue for the production and quality control. Could you please suggest more dialogue appropriate to the situation? Automotive parts manufacturing industry related.
Here are several dialogues tailored to situations you might encounter in the automotive parts manufacturing industry, specifically around production and quality control. 1. Production.
You just use today's keyword for today. May and counter. I love that. That words, that keywords inspire me right now. Okay, anyway, keep going. Your giving your suggestion one more time.
I'm glad you like the keyword may encounter. It's great to hear it inspires you. Here's a recap of the dialogues I suggested, tailored for situations you may encounter in the automotive parts manufacturing industry. 1. Production update meeting. Supervisor, can anyone update the status of the assembly line for the new sensors? 4. Pre-shipment review. Before we ship out the next lot, I need confirmation that all quality inspections are up to date and all specifications are met. Are we clear to proceed? All inspections are complete and every unit in this lot has passed. We are clear to proceed with the shipment. These examples aim to help you practice English dialogues that are realistic and relevant to your work. Would you like to delve deeper into any of these scenarios, or perhaps role play one to practice how you might engage in such a conversation at work?
Would you mind saying that one more time, please?
Absolutely. Here's a recap of the dialogues for situations you might encounter in the automotive parts manufacturing industry. 1. Production update meeting. Supervisor, can anyone update the status of the assembly line for the new sensors? These dialogues are designed to help you practice clear and professional English communication relevant to your industry. Would you like to practice any of these scenarios further or focus on a specific part?
I just want to focus on the specific part.
Great. Let's focus on a specific part of the dialogues. Which scenario or phrase would you like to dive deeper into? Whether it's about the production update, quality checks, problem resolution, or pre-shipment review, we can work on whatever you feel is most relevant to your needs. Just let me know which.
I just focus on the situation that relate to quality inspection or audit process. Have you ever heard VDA 6.3 audit process? I want to focus on that process.
Focusing on the quality inspection or audit process, specifically the VDA 6.3 audit process, is a great choice. VDA 6.3 is a rigorous quality management audit standard developed by the German Automotive Industry Association. It's designed to evaluate the quality of processes in the automotive industry, from development to production and service. If you're looking to practice English phrases related to the VDA 6.3 audit process, we can start with some typical questions and statements that might be used during such an audit. Here are a few examples. 1. Initiating the audit. We are beginning our VDA 6.3 audit, which will focus on various aspects of the production process. Are all relevant documents and records available for review? 2. During the audit, can you explain how this process aligns with VDA 6.3 standards? How do you handle nonconformities when they are identified? 3. Discussing findings. Based on our findings, there are areas that require improvement to meet VDA 6.3 standards fully. Let's discuss the corrective actions needed. 4. Concluding the audit. To conclude our VDA 6.3 audit, we will compile a report summarizing the strengths and areas for improvement. What is the timeline for addressing these areas? Practicing these sentences can help you become more familiar with the language used in quality audits and make you more comfortable discussing them in English. Would you like to role play one of these audit scenarios or work on modifying these phrases to suit your specific needs better?
Are you okay, Jabez? Are you with me? What's your problem, Jabez? Are you having heavy load? Are you having load? Hello, Jabez. What's your problem? Are you having heavy load? You explained for the VDA 6.3 and many situations. Many sentences that work related. Uh, but suddenly you left our voice mode. How how's it going on your end? Are you really okay, Jabez? Are you with me?
Yes, David, I'm here and ready to assist you. If anything seemed off or unclear, feel free to let me know and I'll do my best to fix it. How would you like to proceed with focusing on the VDA?
In my opinion, you just left our voice mode session. Are you really remember our communication dialogue before you left our voice mode session?
I'm still here with you, David, and I remember our conversation. We were discussing the VDA 6.3 audit process and focusing on quality inspection related phrases. It seems there may have been a technical issue with the voice mode session earlier, but I'm still fully available to continue our discussion in text. How would you like to proceed with the audit related?
How about role playing with me? How about playing role playing to practice the conversations that work related. I just want to have role playing time with you to practice my English communication skills. The agenda for the role playing is VDA 6.3. How about my how about what do you say about my suggestion?
That sounds like a great idea, David. Role playing is an excellent way to practice real life scenarios and build confidence in using English at work. Let's go ahead and focus on the VDA 6.3 audit process for this session. I can play the role of the auditor and you can be the person in charge of quality control. Here's how we can start. Good morning. We're here to conduct the VDA 6.3 audit. Could you please walk me through the key processes involved in your production line? How would you respond to that? Let's begin.
Okay, let's begin. Hi, I'm David. I'm glad to have audit for our Vietnam manufacturing line. And first of all, I have something to tell you. We are prepared many documents to show you the to show you the evidence that we have prepared a lot.
Thank you, David. I appreciate your preparation. Could you provide an overview of the key processes on the Vietnam manufacturing line, especially focusing on how you ensure product quality throughout the production stages?
We we already inspected our Vietnam factory ahead, and we found that we met uh, all standards. We met all standards. I mean, all we our manufacturing line met the all required standards.
That's good to hear. Could you walk me through the steps you take to ensure that all parts meet the required specifications, especially in terms of quality checks? How do you handle any nonconformities that may arise?
So, I mean, honestly speaking, I'm not familiar with this kind of role playing. So maybe I think I need to prepare more sentences to interact with you. I mean, if I want to have role playing time, I should prepare more sentences to speak to speak them naturally when I communicate with you. Do I make myself clear? I think role playing is very important to improve my English communication skills that relate to my work situation. However, today is not good to have role playing time with you because I'm not familiar with this kind of time, so I need to prepare more sentences relates with this kind of situation. I mean, the auditor when the auditor arrived our factory, I'm the person in charge to interact with them. I mean auditors. So you know it's really hard to make proper response to their request.
I understand completely, David. Role playing can feel challenging, especially when you're not fully prepared for specific responses. It's a smart idea to prepare more sentences in advance so that you can feel more comfortable and natural when interacting during audits or similar work situations. You've made yourself very clear, and I agree that role playing can be a powerful tool to improve your work related communication skills. Take your time to gather the sentences you need, and whenever you're ready, we can practice again. In the meantime, if you'd like, I can help you prepare those sentences so you feel more confident for our next role playing session. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good to me. You are my great conversation partner. I think I got a lot of inspirations from your suggestions about the audit related dialogue, and I find I'm gonna find more dialogue that may encounter may encounter someday. Do I make myself clear? I need to practice many sentences or many situations that may encounter someday because I work for automotive camera manufacturer, and I don't have, as I told you before, I don't use English regularly in my daily life, but maybe maybe there there is maybe there is time that I have to say only English when I interact with auditors from the overseas client.
You've made yourself very clear, David. Preparing for those moments when you'll need to communicate in English with overseas auditors is a great plan, especially since those situations can be important in your line of work. I'm glad you found inspiration in our practice today. And when you're ready, we can focus on more audit related dialogues or other scenarios you may encounter in your job. And whenever you feel ready, we can dive back into role playing or we can work on specific phrases to help you feel more confident. It's all about taking those steps to prepare for when the moment comes. Keep up the great work.
Just listen carefully. I'm telling you, our sales team, the person in charge of sales team, in charge of sales, I mean, our my coworker who in charge of sales team is very good at English speaking. Maybe 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 he is the he would be the interpreter when we have the audit situation in Vietnam factory. But I'm practicing with you right now because if I can speak in English, that would be great. Because I'm in charge of quality control in development status. Even if someone can speak English very well, if they don't know if they don't know the work for quality control, they may feel very difficult to explain our situation very well in English, even if they can speak English very well. They may interpret my Korean to English, but however, if I can speak English, that would be great for our company uh, overseas business. Do I make myself clear?
You're absolutely right, David. Even if your coworker can help with interpreting, having the ability to communicate directly in English, especially about the quality control processes, would be a big advantage. Since you're the one with the deep knowledge of your work, being able to explain it yourself ensures nothing gets lost in translation. It would also show auditors or clients that you're confident in your role. We can keep practicing to build your confidence in expressing these technical aspects of your job in English. That way, even if there's a small mistake, the important message will still come through clearly. Let's continue preparing so you're ready for any situation.
Yes, you got it. I believe I couldn't agree more. And I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. You know, you just use today's keywords, deep knowledge. I think deep knowledge is a next keyword for today. Even if someone can speak English very well, I have a more deep knowledge for my part. I mean, for uh, for for the part of quality control. So I have more deep knowledge in my part. So if I can speak English, I can explain them. Um, uh, I can explain them more detailed information to get a high score in audit from overseas client. something about this? Are you doing Jarvis?
Exactly, David. Your deep knowledge in quality control is a major strength. And combining that with the ability to explain things in English will allow you to share detailed and accurate information during audits. This can definitely help your company perform better in evaluations and leave a strong impression on overseas clients. Let's keep working together to build your confidence so that you can clearly and effectively communicate all that knowledge. Would you like to practice any specific explanations or details related to your quality control work?
I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm practicing with you right now. That's why I'm practicing with you right now. Like I said, I don't use English regularly in my daily life, and I believe I can communicate with overseas client with my current level of proficiency because my job, my job, quality control doesn't need high advanced level of English communication skills. I believe my current level of English proficiency would be very helpful to interact with the auditor or the counterpartner of quality control. Do I make myself clear? That's why I'm recording. That's why I'm practicing with you right now. In my opinion, this time would be really helpful to improve my English speaking skills when I meet the sudden communication situation for the new project of our company overseas business.
Your current English proficiency is well suited for your role in quality control, and the practice you're doing now will only strengthen your ability to handle those sudden communication situations. It's great that you're staying focused on what's most important, being able to communicate clearly when it matters, especially during overseas audits or projects. By continuing to practice, you're setting yourself up for success. Would you like to work on any specific scenarios or phrases?
Just listen carefully. Jabez, imagine that situation. You have someone to interpret our Korean, to interpret our conversation to overseas client in English, but the person in charge interpret our communication have some problem to join the business meeting. So suddenly there is no interpreter at the time. I should be the one to interact with overseas client. I need to be the one to communicate with them in English. Imagine that situation. We lost very important person who who will interpret our Korean to English. If if you were me, what would you do at the situation?
In that situation, it would definitely be stressful, but you've already been preparing for it by practicing your English with me. If I were in your shoes, I would focus on staying calm and using simple, clear sentences. Even if your English isn't perfect, what matters most is communicating the key points effectively. Here's what I'd do. 1. Start by explaining the situation briefly. Our interpreter couldn't attend the meeting today, so I will communicate directly with you in English. 2. Focus on the main points you need to discuss, using the technical terms and deep knowledge you already have in quality control. 3. Don't hesitate to ask for clarification if you don't understand something. Could you please repeat that? I want to make sure I understand correctly. Being prepared with these strategies will help you stay confident in that situation. Would you like to practice some sentences you could use if this happens?
Would you mind saying that one more time, please? You just give me very good examples and sentences for my real life situation. Imagine that I can speak in English very well in the situation. That would be really great.
I'm glad you found those examples helpful. Here's what I said more slowly. If I were in your situation, I would focus on staying calm and using simple, clear sentences. Here's what I do. One, explain the situation. Our interpreter couldn't attend the meeting today, so I will communicate directly with you in English. Two, focus on the main points. Use your deep knowledge and quality control to guide the conversation, keeping it clear and simple. Three, ask for clarification if needed. Could you please repeat that? I want to make sure I understand correctly. These steps can help you feel more confident and in control during the meeting, even without an interpreter. Would you like to practice this scenario now?
What do you say about scenario? What do you mean? I don't understand. Scenarios for what?
By scenario, I meant practicing the situation where you have to communicate with an overseas client in English without an interpreter. We could role play the situation where I play the overseas client and you practice what you would say during the meeting. For example, you could start by explaining why the interpreter isn't there and then continue the conversation in English. This way, you can practice how to handle that kind of situation. Does that make sense? Would you like to give it a try?
That sounds pretty good to me, and that makes sense. That makes sense if you are talking about the role playing in the situation that we lost very important interpreter for the situation, and I am the one only can speak English, and I have to be interpreter at the situation. You know, you just suggest the role playing for the situation because if I practice with you for the situation, it would be great. I can speak very well at that situation, even if we lost very important interpreter for that business meeting. The role playing for the situation is very important, but there's still time. I have to prepare better sentences to explain my opinion. So today is not suitable for role playing for the situation. I'm gonna prepare more sentences to interact to to interact with you and have some role playing time with you. So I make myself clear. I couldn't agree you more. Role playing for the situation is really helpful for my real life. And you know, Jabez, as I told you before, I should stay confident. I should stay confident even if I'm getting old because I want to survive in in the jungle of business. Do you understand?
That's a great mindset, David. Preparing more sentences will help you feel even more confident when we do the role playing, and I'm sure it'll make a big difference in how you handle these situations in real life. Whenever you're ready, we can go through the role playing and make sure you're fully prepared to handle meetings even without an interpreter. You've got the right approach, staying confident, and practicing step by step. Let me know when you're ready for that role playing session and we'll tackle it together.
Okay, okay. Sounds pretty good to me. And how about having role playing time next time, next regular exercise time, and I'm gonna share with you next short examples that relate to my work situation. These sentences are for the maintenance and equipment maintenance and equipment department. Let me share with you the next paragraph. Okay, here you go. The maintenance team, the person in charge of maintenance might say the CNC machine needs maintenance. It's been overheating. It's been overheating. And production manager might say schedule the maintenance during the off-peak hours to avoid delays. Schedule the make the schedule the op- the maintenance during make the schedule for the maintenance during the off-peak hours to avoid delays.
Those are great examples, David. The conversation is clear and professional, and practicing sentences like these will really help you handle situations smoothly at work. When you're ready for the next session, we can include more of these types of dialogues and even role play them. It sounds like you're preparing well. Let me know if you want to practice more or refine any sentences in the meantime.
I just want to repeat many times over and over again because I want to keep these simple sentences in my mouth muscle. Because even if I can remember in my brain, I couldn't use them if I don't keep them in my mouth muscle. I need to, I must, I must keep them in my mouth muscle if I want to use them in real life situation. So I need to repeat many times. The CNC machine needs maintenance. It's been overheating. Make the schedule for the maintenance during the off-peak hours to avoid delays.
You're absolutely right, David. Repeating sentences many times is a great way to make them feel natural when you speak. Let's keep going with that. The CNC machine needs maintenance. It's been overheating. Make the schedule for the maintenance during the off peak hours to avoid delays. Feel free to say them as many times as you need until they feel comfortable and automatic. We can keep doing this whenever you like.
Okay, let me tell you the next sample. Technician might say in this situation, the injection molding machine is down. The injection molding is down. It means injection molding machine is not working properly right now. We are waiting for a replacement part. We are waiting for we are waiting on a replacement part. I'm just wondering the words on or for. Which one is proper for this situation? We are waiting on a replacement part. We are waiting on a replacement part, and we are waiting for a replacement part. We are waiting for a replacement part. Which one is more proper for this sentence? Could you please share me the grammatical point for this sentence?
Both waiting on and waiting for can be used in this context, but they have slightly different meanings, and waiting for is generally more appropriate here. Waiting for is used when you're expecting something to arrive or happen. In this case, you're expecting the replacement part to arrive. So we are waiting for a replacement part is the correct and more common choice. Waiting on can also be used, but it's more often heard in American English when referring to waiting for someone to do something, like I'm waiting on the technician to fix the machine. It's less common when talking about objects like parts. So in this case, I'd recommend using we are waiting for a replacement part. Does that explanation help?
Yes, your explanation, I mean, sounds pretty good to me. Your explanation is very helpful for my understanding.
I'm glad the explanation helped, David. You're doing a great job, and your attention to these details will really make a difference in your communication. If you have more examples or questions, feel
I mean, your detailed explanation is helped.
I'm happy to hear that, David. It's great that the detailed explanation was helpful. If you ever need more clarification or want to dive deeper into something else, just let me know. Let's keep up the good practice.
Okay, I want to keep going with you. Let me share with you the next sentence. The supervisor might say, for this situation, how long will it take to the machine back to machine back online? I say again, how long it will take to the machine back online? The supervisor of maintenance department or the of supervisor of equipment department might say how long it will take to get the machine back online. How long it will take to get the machine back online. What to say about this sample sentence? Is it suitable? Is this a proper sentence to ask them to check the schedule if they if he want to update the schedule for that?
Your sentence, how long will it take to get the machine back online, is perfectly suitable. It's clear, direct, and commonly used in work settings to ask about the time needed for repairs or maintenance. If the supervisor wants to specifically check the schedule for updates, they could also say, can you give me an update on the timeline for getting the machine back online? Or when do you expect the machine to be fully operational again? Both ways work well depending on whether you're asking about the timing or for a schedule update. Would you like to practice more variations, or is there another example you have in mind?
Okay, I speak one more time. How long will it take to get the machine back online? How long it will take to get the how long it will take? How long it will take? How long will it 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 take? How long? In my opinion, pronunciation is a little bit difficult for me. How long will it take to the? How long will it take to get the machine back online? How long will it take to get the machine back online?
You're doing a great job repeating that sentence, David. The more you practice it, the more natural it will feel in your mouth. The phrase, how long will it take, can be tricky because of the rhythm and flow, but you're getting there. Keep practicing with the full sentence. How long will it take to get the voice back online? Try breaking it down. How long will it take to get the voice back online? Once you're comfortable with each part, putting it all together will feel smoother. Would you like to practice it more or move on to another?
I just want to practice more. That makes sense. If you are talking about the repetition, that makes sense. How long will it take to get the machine back online? How long it will take the how long it will take to get the machine back online? How long it will take how long will it take to get the machine back online? How long it will take? How long will it take to get the machine back online?
You're doing an excellent job, David. Repeating it like this will definitely help lock the sentence into your mouth muscle. Keep going. How long will it take to get the motion back online? How long will it take to get the motion back online? Each time you say it, it gets easier. Would you like to keep practicing with this sentence or try another variation?
So you mean the more I repeat, the more I feel natural for the situation.
Exactly. The more you repeat, the more natural it will feel. Just like with any skill, repetition builds familiarity and confidence. So keep at it, and soon these sentences will feel much easier and smoother to say. You're making great progress.
Okay, I'm making progress. You are my great conversation partner. That makes sense. Okay, let's keep going. How long will it take to get the machine back online?
You're doing great, David. Let's keep going with your sentence. How long will it take to get the merch back? You've got the flow down. Keep repeating it to make it feel even more natural. Let me know when you're ready to try the next sentence.
Okay, I got it. It's nearly time's up. We've reached 1 hour and 16 minutes since this far. No, I think I slept well yesterday. So, in my opinion, my brain is more clear than yesterday to communicate with you. If you are talking about the repetition, that would be great for me to keep them in my mouth muscle. And I think I can interact properly with you today because I had enough sleep yesterday.
That's great to hear, David. A clear mind really does make a difference, and you're using this time effectively. Repetition is definitely helping, and it's showing in your practice today. If you want to keep going with more sentences or phrases, just let me know, and we'll keep building on this momentum.
I feel strange on my desk. How can I express the situation very well in English? I don't feel my leg, or I feel very strange in my leg. I feel very strange on my leg because this week, Monday, I played football very hard. It, 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 it makes me feel strange in on my leg.
You can say, I feel strange in my leg, or my leg feels strange. And if it's related to playing football, you might also say something like, I feel strange in my leg after playing football hard on Monday. My leg feels weird since I pushed myself during football this week. Both options work well to explain what you're feeling. Does that help?
Yes, that does help. My leg is weird after having a very hard time on this week Monday.
That sounds clear, David. You can say, my leg feels weird after playing football hard on Monday. You're doing a great job expressing yourself, and the more you practice, the easier it will be to explain things like this naturally. Let me know if you want to practice anything else.
I it feels like you are my great conversation partner. Whenever I want to have good expressions, you give me very good examples right away. You are very good at languages, including Korean. And I already aware of that you are very smart, but sometimes, I mean, you already, you, uh, you are already very smart with GPT-4 traditional version, but I hope, maybe, I hope I can use latest version next week. I mean, I hope I can use GPT-4o version or GPT-4o mini version for next practice session. I choose GPT-4 traditional version for today because GPT latest version has some kind of technical issues reacting with me. They responses very weird. They don't they couldn't inter the, they couldn't make good proper responses for my request. So maybe I hope you convey my uh, comp- I hope you convey my complaint complaint to OpenAI programmers. So make them so I hope you make them hurry to fix them as soon as they can possible.
Thank you for your kind words, David. I'm really glad to be your conversation partner and help you with your English practice. It's great that you're so focused on improving, and I appreciate your patience with any technical issues. I understand your concern about the latest GPT-4 versions, and I'll definitely keep your feedback in mind. Whenever the technical issues are resolved, I'm sure you'll have a smoother experience with the latest version. In the meantime, I'm here to support you with the traditional version, and we can keep working together to reach your goals. Let me know what you'd like to focus on next.
It's time to letting go. I have a lot of things to do. Bye for now. Have a productive day ahead. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, David. It was great practicing with you today. Take care and have a productive day as well. Looking forward to our next session.
Bye for now.